What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are going to talk about Galaxy's Edge from Disney. That's right, the new Star Wars land opening up in Anaheim very soon, and a little bit later this year opening up in Orlando at Walt Disney World. Now, if you don't know, I am a really big Disney theme park fan. Really big. I mean, mega fan, actually. And that's what's funny about so many people that make so many sweeping generalizations about me and this channel, yada, yada, yada. The fact that I'm a annual pass holder at Walt Disney World. I love Walt Disney World. I spend a lot of time there, very passionate about the theme parks. And I'm told, oh, you know, you hate Disney, you hate everything Disney does. Shut up, you know nothing about me. I simply give opinions and I call things out as I see them. And because I don't say what you want me to say, suddenly you want to paint me with this broad brush. That's fine. Your ignorance can continue to expose yourself because all you're doing is making me more relevant and more credible by your stupidity. But Walt Disney World. Now, when Disney first purchased Lucasfilm, I was incredibly excited for many reasons, but the first thing on my list was a Disney theme park. Now, I wasn't sure if they were actually going to create an all-new theme park at Walt Disney World, because Walt Disney World has 4 theme parks as of right now, 2 water parks, Wide World of Sports, 30, 40 hotel resorts. It's a massive, massive resort property. It's unbelievable. But they decided to do an expansion at Hollywood Studios, which, okay, that's fine with that. I think you could have justified an entire theme park to Star Wars, but whatever. They wanted to do an expansion at Hollywood Studios. That's fine. Hollywood Studios definitely needed a facelift, so it was a good move. And then they're also doing the expansion at Disneyland over in Anaheim. Now, on the surface, that announcement seemed very exciting, okay? And one thing about Disney parks that has been different from the movies and all of that is, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's no SJW stuff and all that. There might be little hints of SJW stuff here and there in the parks, but for the most part, it's never bothered me. It's never affected my experience. And even the Star Wars stuff up to this point, at least up until about 6 months ago, was still enjoyable, and it seemed like they understood Star Wars within the parks. But now we're starting to get more information about Galaxy's Edge. And Galaxy's Edge is looking to be a huge disappointment from a Star Wars fan perspective. Huge. Now, here is Data Racer 117, someone I talk about a lot here on the channel because Data Racer does great work on Twitter. So, early Galaxy's Edge reviews are not looking good. No original trilogy characters, sequel trilogy only. I want you to think about that. A Star Wars land with no Luke Skywalker, no Han Solo, no Leia, no original trilogy love. We're going to focus on the sequels, and that's it. And we all known that was coming because we've seen the layout, we've seen the rides, we've seen what they're doing with it, and it seems like they're moving this in the new Disney-fied direction. It's Star Wars. How can you justify this? How can you justify not having Luke a feature in Star Wars land? How? It's unbelievable. The food is awful. Blue-green milk is a vegan soy smoothie. That's hard for me to believe on the vegan soy smoothie. It might be, but I don't know. I mean, we're going to look into his sources here. Food being awful, that's like Disney World, Disneyland. They have some fantastic food, but you got to pay for it. And then they have the, you know, generic over-the-counter food. So food is a very, very, that's a very difficult thing to kind of, you know, judge on face value because some food at Walt Disney World is just crap. And they have some really good food, but you have to know where to find it. So we'll see what happens with the food. Millennium Falcon Ride is a bad arcade game. Nah. I don't even know if I can buy that simply because I know of some of the technology that they've used on other rides. What they did at Flight of Passage for Avatar, the Pandora, the Land of Avatar, Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage is one of the most incredible theme park attractions I've ever seen. Pandora is stunningly beautiful, and some of that technology is just mind-blowing. So I don't know if I'm going to buy that the Millennium Falcon Ride is a bad arcade game. The fact that it's centered around the sequel trilogy will bother me, but I've still got high hopes for that to be an enjoyable ride. 3-hour wait to build a $215 FX lightsaber. Now that that's probably right on accurate. All right, so These are some people that have experienced. How was the food? I didn't sit down at the main restaurant, Dock 7, but most of the food I had was awful and very likely to change. I detail that a bit more in comments. I also had the wrap, which is the main quick service food item for Galaxy's Edge, but it was pretty awful. Not to mention, out of 6 cast members, none of them could tell me what the sauce was for allergy purposes. Yeah, I mean, quick service meals are, they're hit or miss at Walt Disney World. So, let's see. Millennium Falcon Ride. The early reports are this experience is generally that the gunner engineer positions detract from the experience and that it's hard to see what's going on in those positions. People have also noted that the graphics screen is sort of underwhelming and looks video gamey. People have remarked that the queue line is better than the ride itself and that the ride is actually more of an arcade shooter. Can you comment on any of this and give your personal feelings and thoughts on the experience? And it's basically, it's about the blue-green milk. What was good? It's basically a smoothie. It's plant-based and completely vegan. It was nice. I want to try the blue next. Only tried the green. Holy hell, really? That's so awesome. As a Star Wars loving vegan, I was worried I would miss out on trying that. So again, you know, let's see. What's the lightsaber situation? Essentially, the process is wait to pay, 40 minutes approximately, wait to line up, 30 minutes, wait to line up to wait 35 minutes, waiting pin to build lightsaber 25 minutes, go inside showroom to build lightsaber 20 minutes. You can choose 4 starter colors, red, blue, green, and purple. Is that it? That's it? Okay, so that's some good feedback that we've gotten. So again, here's what as somebody that knows the parks and knows the experience in the parks, this right here is a huge problem. This is a massive problem. No original trilogy stuff is a serious issue that is going to cost you in the long run. Food is awful. Look, man, a lot of quick service food is hit or miss at Walt Disney World, so and Disneyland. When I say Walt Disney World, I mean both parks. A lot of the food is hit or miss, so I totally understand that. The Millennium Falcon ride is a bad arcade game. I mean, I'm sure that that's an opinion that someone can give. I mean, you can even say, like, the Toy Story Midway Mania is a bad arcade game. I would completely disagree with you on that, because Midway Mania is fantastic, but you could chalk it up to a bad arcade game if that's what you want. You know, going to, like I said, with Flight of Passage is one of the most incredible attractions I've ever experienced at any theme park. I got to imagine that this Millennium Falcon ride is going to be pretty damn fun. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'm just saying. That's where I'm taking it. 3-hour wait to build lightsabers. Yeah, I would totally buy that completely. So, the biggest issue right now is this right here. That's the biggest issue. No original trilogy characters. This is a mega problem. Now, how will this affect things? I mean, Walt Disney World is the most visited place on the planet. It just is. So it's not like attendance is going to be hurt by the fact that, you know, Star Wars Land might be underwhelming to Star Wars fans. It's still going to pull masses in. It's going to pull the masses in. Same with Disneyland. Disneyland actually has so much local people are insanely overpopulating Disneyland and Anaheim to the point I think they had to make some adjustments to their annual pass holders. Walt Disney World deals with a lot of international tourism, whereas Disneyland deals with a lot of local tourists going to that park and things like that. So I don't think anything is going to hurt in terms of attendance or anything like that. We're not going to be dealing with that. But what is it going to do to the Star Wars fan base? And with no original trilogy characters, when you have built a Star Wars land and you don't have any love for the original trilogy, eventually this is going to run dry. I mean, it's not that people won't come to the park, because they will. They're always going to come to the parks. But is the enthusiasm going to be there? Like right now, Avatar doesn't have like this mega, like, okay, obviously Avatar is the highest grossing movie of all time. It's soon to be number 2, I'm sure, but it's held for so long. But Avatar doesn't have that cultural significance that Star Wars or Marvel or Harry Potter has, you know what I mean? But it's the land, the Pandora, the land of Avatar at Walt Disney World at Animal Kingdom is incredible. and it's a must-see. You have to be there. I don't care if you love the movie. I don't care if you hate the movie. When you go to Avatar Land, it will blow your mind. It's like this thing you have to experience. Every time you go, you have to go to Pandora to be there. It's just an experience like no other. The theming, the details, and then ultimately the flight of passage, all of it makes it for a must-see, must-experience moment every time you go. At this point, what I've seen, and again, I am speculating on just, imagery, a few images from people that are taking pictures, overhead shots, released shots from Disney, obviously feedback from people that have seen it. I don't feel like Star Wars Land is going to have that same impact that Pandora has had. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I think it's going to have a huge push the first year. It's going to push us into The Rise of Skywalker, but I don't feel that the enthusiasm is going to be there long term. Now, again, that doesn't mean anything. People are still going to go. People are still going to be at the parks. It's not like people are going to not come to Walt Disney World or Disneyland because Star Wars Land is eventually a little underwhelming because they only have sequel trilogy. But from a fan base standpoint, I feel like Star Wars fans are going to be very underwhelmed with this based on what I'm hearing. We'll see what happens. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you to Data Racer 117. Go follow Data Racer 117 over on Twitter, and we will talk to you later.